Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie.
Zach, who are you talking to?
I can.
Hi, friends.
I'm Zach.
I'm Mitch.
And we are Excellent Little Podcast.
Presenting you a little movie podcast starring Zach and Mitch.
And we are bringing you the Barbie movie, part 2 of the Barbenheimer series. Now, a brief summary. I know you're doing good. You're deep breaths. Brief summary. Ooh, that was good. Barbie suffers a crisis that leads her to question her world and her existence.
Studio brought to you by Warner Brothers Discovery, directed by Greta Gerwig, screenplay by Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach. Duration is about an hour and 54 minutes. Why the hell are we talking about Barbie?
Because we have to. It's Barbenheimer, god damn it. Now,
split up the episode.
Yep, here we go. For those new to Little Movie Podcast, welcome, fellow travelers. We are going to split up our reviews into 3 sections.
First before we keep going, hi, Barbie.
Hi, Barbie. Hi, Ken.
Hi, Ken. Hi, Barbie.
Before we go into it, we'll go ahead and split up our things into a couple of different sections. First, our non-spoiler section, where we give our first thoughts and we talk about cast performances and other non-spoilery things. Then we move into our review, which Mitch will go ahead and say how we review films once we get there. Mm-hmm. And then we'll go ahead and jump into our spoiler section once we sound an alarm.
Yay.
Mitch, what are your first thoughts on Greta Gerwig's Barbie movie?
So I made a bet about this film in Oppenheimer, and Joshua Wainwright, if you watch this, fuck you, you won the bet.
And Joshua, I agreed with you from day one when he told me about this bet.
God damn it. But
we win. We win.
But I walked out of the film smiling from ear to ear. I really, really enjoyed this
Yeah, this
film.
is your Top Gun Maverick for me.
I don't know if it's my top, because I was going to eat my vegetables, but I was still going to see it because I love Margot Robbie. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't that bad. There's another film that was on your top 10 that is that we'll talk about in another time, but that I really ate my vegetables. But we're not talking about it this time. You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about, but let's go ahead and talk about Barbie. Because, I really love this movie. I thought that this was great. I feel like that this really had a really fun feel to it. It had a bit of a twist coming on in that it went a little darker than what we were expecting, and it really pulled on a lot of wonderful things, and Greta Gerwig does a wonderful job with it. Mm-hmm. All right, let's go ahead and move on to cast performances, and where better to start with the woman, the myth, the legend herself, Margot Robbie, playing our Barbie.
Prototypical Barbie.
Mm-hmm.
She was great.
Oh,
she was great. She was really great. And I really can't say anything else, but she was the one that pitched this, because this film had been in development for years. Because who's the comedian that was? Amy Schumer was going to play Barbie. Yep. And then it was like Anne Hathaway and a few others. So this has been in development for a long time. But Margot Robbie pitched this.
Greta Gerwig is the one that pitched it, and Margot Robbie's the one that said, you need to do this.
I don't recall that. Where's your source?
From Greta Gerwig herself with
the source
interview of Entertainment.
The source that I read, it was Margot Robbie that pitched it. So we have our first debate here, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone involved. But we're not going to talk about that.
We're not going to talk about that because we are talking about Margot Robbie.
She was great. She was really wonderful. I really can't think of anybody better to portray Barbie. There's even a joke in the film that I can't talk about.
Yeah, there is. It's definitely the best joke in the film, but
Everyone died.
Everyone died in the theater when that happened.
But she was wonderful. She really was wonderful. She can play Harley Quinn. She can play freaking Barbie. She's that good of an actress. Because I think, and I know what you're going to say, she gets it.
Yeah. And literally, that's pretty much my review of her
Oh.
doing it. She just gets it. She
Yeah.
really does a wonderful job of that naivete, fish out of water kind of Barbie that enjoys the life that she has and gets thrusted an adventure onto her. And she does a phenomenal job with going through all those different emotions, portraying them. And she does a wonderful job of not only just playing Barbie, but just playing a woman in 2023.
Right,
Which
yeah.
is really kind of the heart and soul of this movie. Barbie has always been a capture of the moment for what
The times.
for the time, and she does a wonderful job with it.
Yeah.
But the next one that I have to talk about is Ryan Gosling, because oh man, do I love me some Ryan Gosling, and I will say what I have to, especially there is definitely a noticeable age gap in my personal opinion between
Him
and
and Margot.
her, but he brings it on this one. Now, a lot of people say that like Margot Robbie's great, but Ryan Gosling blows the movie out of the water. Like he's like should be nominated for Best Supporting Actor, which possible, but I believe that they actually are matching in terms of performance. They both brought their A game, and without going into spoilers, the final scene is the reason why I say that, because each time that you think that is the best delivery in this entire movie, they cut to the other actor and they move on to it and they're like, oh, well, yeah, that's actually the best delivery. And then they cut to the other actor and go, oh, that's the best line. And it just keeps on building. It's
Kind of like your review of
wonderful.
Ryan Gosling right now, Zach. Now it's my turn. He was fine. I enjoyed him in this film. I didn't love him in this film. Because dare I say I'm getting tired of Ryan Gosling? I really, really am. Because he's been in like almost everything, like La La Land. He's been in this. And he's a great actor. Do not get me wrong. He is a great actor. I just feel like this was kind of a miscast. I wanted somebody different in this role because, like you mentioned, there's a big age gap. And when I look at him, I'm just like, you're showing your age, Ryan. You're really showing your age. But
Do you have any idea of who you would cast out of curiosity?
I have a few, but someone younger.
Just
if you
someone
will.
younger?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
just someone, not like 10, 15 years younger. I'm talking like,
are you talking like, so not like a Timothy Chalamet, but like,
oh,
but-
no. He's Wonka.
Yeah, that he is. He is awesome. And for some reason, another comedian is an Oompa Loompa, which I think is one of the weirdest castings ever. But let's talk about that
later.
Let's talk about this Warner Brothers
that's like,
movie.
That's
Let's
Christmas.
talk about
That's
this
Christmas.
Warner Brothers movie. Now, yeah, but let's get into the direction of this film, because without Greta Gerwig, there is no Barbie movie. Her fingerprints are all over this film. Everything from the design, the script, the performances that she pulls out, the wit, because like you see that this is a labor of love from her, and this shows, because it's a big thing to go up against Chris Nolan and the standard Hollywood. You're punching up, but holy crap, did Greta Gerwig deliver an uppercut, because this really was a wonderful film and had a lot going against it, but it came out really well. So, but what did you think of Greta Gerwig's direction?
Well, so I noticed everyone was like noticing a lot of similarities to other films. I think she watched Big a lot,
Yeah, it's definitely got some big elements.
But yeah, I want to talk about her world building involved with her direction, because Barbie is her own universe. And with that, it's so hard because it's a toy, and it's
Yeah.
not like Toy Story where
No.
that's an original thing. This is Barbie.
Yeah.
Barbie's been around since forgive me.
50s.
Was it the 50s?
Yep.
Yeah. But she made her own Barbie world.
She's a Barbie girl
Don't you start.
in that
Don't-
Barbie world, man.
I knew it was coming. But speaking of, There was music in this film.
Oh yeah,
Zach, why don't you take that one?
Boy,
Yeah.
was there music
Why
in
don't you
this
take that
film?
one? Yeah.
Because if there was a reason why you were wondering Ryan Gosling was casted in this film, that is it. Because he's a music theater boy. He is, and he's still got his chops. But even besides Ryan Gosling and his singing and his machismo, the music as well, just outside of it, is really freaking well done. It's very meta. It's almost borderline music theater. It's really freaking good. In fact, even I'm Just Ken is beating out Peaches out of my head. Like it is taking it over. I'm now just Knuff, and it's okay. It's okay.
Sure, sure, but so it is not going to replace Peaches. But the last of our non-spoiler things is the marketing of this film. So the marketing of this film kind of dictates a prototypical kind of Barbie film that everyone was expecting. You ain't getting it.
Well, you do. You get it in the beginning.
I didn't, but
In the beginning it does, but then it starts to turn.
And we can't really talk about any further
Yeah.
because it's spoilers. But let's just put it this way. The film you're going to get, it's not the Barbie film you're expecting.
Correct. And personally, I think that turn was done really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed it. I really love the messages that they gave out of it. It might be a little heavy-handed to some people. Some people might say it's a bit preachy. I don't think so. I think it was handled really all well.
I would agree with you. Yeah.
But to some people, they will say that it's an agenda. But to be honest, Barbie has always been progressive since day one.
Right, yeah.
So if you thought if you came in thinking that you were going to get a gender role hoorah, then you really never knew Barbie.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So, yeah, that's our non-spoiler section. So, Mitch,
It's review time.
It's review time.
All right. So, for those of you who are new, hi. So me and Zach, we're not into the Ebert and Siskel kind of things. We're thumbs up, thumbs down. We're also not into like 5 stars or A's or B's or whatever. Put your hand down. Thank you. All right. So what we do, we have categories. Our lowest category, which is feed it to the dog. We don't have a dog here, do we?
Radley's somewhere, but Jazz is back at home, so.
Meaning, we didn't really care for it.
Yeah.
We still think you should see it to form your own opinion, but we personally did not care for it, and yeah, we would feed it to the dog. Our next category is needs to cook a little more, meaning it needed something, needed an actor change, a script change, a director change, and anything just to get to that next category, which is eat it up, meaning we recommend it. We definitely recommend that you see it in theaters, but if you can't, wait for it as soon as it becomes available on Max, the Warner Brothers new streaming service, not HBO Max, just Max.
Just Max.
It should be coming in the next couple months, but if you have to wait, that's fine. See it as soon as it's available. All right, Zach.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right. So, I really freaking enjoyed this movie. It really was a Clash of the Titans this weekend. It was amazing. It was wonderful. I ate this movie up. This was a really wonderful film. It did have a couple of things that kind of dropped in probably about the second act that I thought they could have done a little bit better on, which hold it back from my Phantom category. But it was a really phenomenal eat it up, in my opinion. But Mitch, what did you think of this?
So, I thought this... I'm fighting.
Yeah,
I'm fighting.
I was fighting too, but there were a few things that got it for me.
So, and I remember I walked out of that theater saying that this might have been our first double feature to feature 2 Phantom categories.
Yeah.
And it's so close.
It's very close.
Now, I don't think that these films are different films.
Completely different films.
I gotta say, this is the closest. It's an eat it up, but is the closest to a clean plate a film could ever get.
It's very, very close.
I wanted to so bad.
Yeah.
but there's just a few things.
Yeah.
And not because of like Greta Gerwig or anything. There's a few actor changes that I would have done.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and get into why it's not a Phantom category when we get into our spoilers
Sure.
section. Which, speaking of,
Before we get to that, we have a question for y'all. What was your favorite childhood toy?
was it a Barbie or was it G.I. Joe or was it?
Mine was those little action figures for it wasn't like a brand, but do you remember the Batman animated show?
Yeah, uh-huh.
It had those were the branded action figures.
Gotcha. When I was little, Rescue Rangers was my big thing, as well as Playmobil. Those were fun, but the really big thing that I really, really loved when I was little was Star Wars figures. I was really lucky. My parents got me a really cool Naboo starfighter and a Millennium Falcon, and my daddy even tracked down like a really like 1970s Chewbacca for me. I love those things, and I even to this day love those things.
Right.
So-
Before we get to our spoiler section, if you need to leave, that's fine. Don't forget to email us at elpodcastmz@gmail.com. Don't forget to subscribe, leave us a like, comment, let us know what your favorite childhood toy is. Follow us on our other sites such as Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. But now it's spoiler time. What's the alarm?
I'm a Barbie boy in a Barbie world, or I'm just a Ken. Either way, we're in our spoiler section now, my friends.
I feel like you're an Alan.
I'll take it. I will take an Alan. I will be an Alan.
All right, so spoilers. Barbie goes to the real world, and Ken discovers patriarchy.
It's one of the funniest discoveries ever.
Yeah.
It's really, if it literally is like a very, like as if a baby first discovers something and gets just encapsulated by it.
Like milk.
That is Ken
Yeah.
with the patriarchy. Does he get some things right? Yes. Does he get some things wrong?
Oh,
yes. But it really is a very dorky version of the patriarchy as well. A really stereotyped patriarchy.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the same thing with as well in Barbie Land. Feminism is turned up to 11 as well. It's everything.
Right.
Like patriarchy and feminism are really dialed up. Which
that's the point. Yeah.
But it's so funny to see Ken discover that.
Yeah. The Barbies take it back, Barbie Land back, because he tries to take. Because the Kens take over.
After Ken introduces to the rest of the Kens what the patriarchy is.
Yeah.
And they're all like, let's try it.
Yeah.
And it just goes terrible, as it always would.
But they take it over. Barbies take Barbie Land back.
Yeah.
And Barbie has a choice. She can stay in Barbie Land, live her prototypical Barbie life, or she can go to the real world. And she goes to the real world.
She chooses the real world.
And Ken gets upset because
It's supposed to be Barbie and Ken.
but it's
not just Ken. But no, and that's the entire point of it, is like you can't, having a relationship shouldn't define you. You need to define you. And
Right.
that's the point.
Right. But Barbie decides to go be in the real world, and she has an appointment.
With one of the stupidest and most wonderful closers of all time, of I'm ready for a gynecologist appointment, and it just cuts to black, and it's like, it's so good.
Yeah.
But the big joke that I have to say, which was really, really good, that we were alluding to earlier, is when Margot Robbie is breaking down, and it's like, I just don't feel pretty anymore. And then the narrator comes over and says,
It's Helen Mirren. I
yeah,
think.
Helen Mirren goes, note to filmmakers,
If you want to get this point across, don't cast Margot Robbie.
and everyone in the theater just died. It was so good. All right, so those were like the big spoiler things, but I do want to talk about what separated it for me between it being a eat it up and our Phantom category of clean plate.
Yeah.
For me, what made this movie fall was actually the human characters.
Yes, I would agree.
The human characters.
Will Ferrell was terrible.
I actually enjoyed Will Ferrell. I was fine with his caricature. It was actually the the mother and daughter that really fell flat for me. Now, the mother had actually a really interesting rant in Barbie, not rant, really
Message,
interesting monologue in Barbie Land, which I do give props to her for on that one. But their characters were just really flat, and they just really didn't. They were there more as a plot device than helping the story, I felt. And they were just kind of there. And whenever they were on screen, I was like, I'd rather just focus back on Barbie and Ken.
Right. Well, and I really appreciated the ghost of the creator of Barbie.
That was really beautiful.
Yeah, that was nice. But
even though she's
been dead for years.
She's been dead for years, and she went to jail for tax evasion. But we'll brush over that part. But like that's like,
Barbie.
That's Barbie.
And so you heard our review.
Yeah.
So leave us a like, subscribe, comment, email us at elpodcastmz@gmail.com. Follow our other sites such as Twitch, TikTok, Insta, all that other fun stuff. Watch our other playlists such as Little Gaming Stream or Little Fun Adventures. But until next time, Barbie friends.
I'm Zach.
Bye, Barbie. I'm Mitch.
And we are
Excellent Little Podcasts.